Chris Hensley is a registered representative of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member of FINRA SIPC, investment advisor representative of Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Houston First Financial Group are not affiliated.
The Houston Midtown chapter of the Society for Financial Awareness presents Money Matters with your host, Christopher Hensley.
Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Money Matters on KPFT Houston. The time is 11 a.m., and we've got a great show lined up for you today. We are here smack dab in the middle of Houston Money Week. I know you've heard me in the past talk about Houston Money Week as we've been ramping up and building up to it. We are now here. We do have with us Houston Money Week partner Bennette Davis. She is with the Houston Metropolitan chapter of the Continental Societies, Inc., and she is live in the studio with us today. So please keep listening. Stay tuned. She will be joining us very, very shortly. But if you are a longtime listener, you know we always reserve just the first few minutes of the show to kind of tell you a little bit about what's going on in Houston and the Gulf Coast region when it comes to financial literacy. Well, so we are, as I mentioned earlier, right in the middle of Houston Money Week, so we're going to actually talk about some of these events throughout the show today. There is one that I did this week with Jenny Guzman, who was on the show last week. She was with Texas Capital Bank. We did an event at the Star of Hope with Bread of Life, which was at St. John's, and that was on Monday. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because that was such a great event. I want to say probably 20, 30 people there, and they would rotate in and out, and we did different topics such as credit. The real theme was financial recovery, which has been kind of a general theme for Houston Money Week this year. It has been our 10-year anniversary, and so we were able to go out there and do this event. Great event. I did not know, even though I have heard of Bread of Life, I did not know what they were really doing there, so it was really great to learn about them helping people in transition. Ever since Harvey, they've had an inflow of more and more people needing help, so seeing those people actually getting that help. I know a lot of times when you donate money to different organizations, there's a question of, well, where's the money actually going? Are the people that need that money, are they actually getting that? With this, I was able to see, it's like, wow, this is the people that need the help, and they're getting it. Even for people that are homeless right now, a lot of organizations downtown are providing shelters, but they're not providing long-term housing. And so I did find out that Bread of Life, St. John's, that they are actually one of the few that provide housing for people that are in transition and getting back on their feet. Great event, and that was part of Houston Money Week, and that's just one small event that's going on during Houston Money Week. We had so many different events going on. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Give you kind of a sneak peek for next week. We will have Kelly Keith from the Women's Resource Center. She is also Houston Money Week partner. And then on May 4th, Tom Servo is a personal injury attorney, and he will talk to us about things that you need to be conscious of if you get into an auto accident, how we can save money, and things that we can prepare if that sort of thing happens to you. So with that, let's go ahead and get Bennette on the air here. Bennette, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me a little bit of, usually I will read your bio, and I have to admit, I pulled the LinkedIn information here, so I would like you to share a little bit about yourself so that listeners can get to know you a little bit better.
Of course. I am the president of an organization called Continental Societies, Incorporated, and we do have our chapter here in Houston. It was chartered in 2004. I am a charter member, and we are called the Houston Metropolitan chapter. And we have right now 24 members strong and growing here in Houston. We serve quite a few capacities. We have 5 tiers that we serve. We have our health programs that we initiate, education, employment, recreation, and arts and humanities. And arts and humanities is the program that we're actually partnering with Houston Money Week. So that's pretty exciting for us this year.
Absolutely. So I want to learn a little bit more about your organization because when I got on the website and I looked, it looks like you're doing a lot of really neat things out there right now. So let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the event that you are doing with Houston Money Week as well. Tell me a little bit more about what you are actually doing out there.
Of course. We have we try and create programs that are really interesting for children here in Houston. We typically focus on those children that are underserved communities because we want to make sure that they have the experiences that other kids experience on a daily basis. Things like going to the opera, going to ballets, understanding what etiquette is when you go into these places. We want to expose kids to that because when you expose to it, that just really broadens your horizon and gives you a more well-rounded upbringing. So many times, these children in their households, they don't have this type of exposure. So that's our goal, to really expose kids and really make sure they have a good foundation.
I love that. Anything that is arts and humanities, and you talk about opera, ballet, things that may not be readily available to kids out there today, so making sure that that's part of it. But you also do the health program, the education. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
With our health program, one of the things that we do, we are partnered with the Colgate vans. So we partner with them when they come into the Houston area. We did have a program at one of our elementary schools here in the Houston area where we had some of our members go out and help with that van. We also taught the kids about healthy eating and how eating healthy also helps your teeth, because February is a healthy teeth month. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that kids understand the importance of brushing and the importance of healthy eating.
Oh, so I can do a correlation with finances right there. Usually you can always tie health and money together. So yes, if they don't take care of their teeth, you're going to get all of these bad teeth at one time, and parents are going to come out of pocket for that.
A lot of money out of pocket.
Yes. So that is definitely something to help with. I didn't realize that February was, and that when I got on the website, I saw the Colgate. That makes sense now. So let's talk a little bit. We'll come back and learn a little bit more about the organization. But tell me a little bit about this event that you're doing with Houston Money Week called Art of Saving.
Yes. This is a program that we actually created the program 3 years ago, and it's called Art and Sound. The new component that we've added is the Art of Savings. And I was approached by Houston Money Week because they found out about our Art and Sound program, and they wanted to partner with us. I really enjoyed talking with the ladies because it was a component that we can actually add to our program. With the Art of Savings, the kids basically go in and we need them to be as creative as possible. And creating something, what's your view of saving money? So we had some wonderful, wonderful submissions. This is our first year out, so we're still in our infancy phase. So we know some of the hurdles we've already crossed them. So next year will be even better. But we had some awesome submissions from several schools that gave us Super Pig, flying in Super Piggy Bank.
Super Piggy Bank, okay.
And that was actually the name, Super Pig Bank.
So you have to describe that to us, because on radio we can't see it. I have a picture in my head, but you tell me.
There was a flying pig with a cape.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying.
And they had buckets underneath the pig, and one was for savings. There was money in the savings. One was for groceries. One was for budget. So Super Pig Bank was dropping money into each one of those buckets.
Oh, nice.
Now, that's creative, and that came from a fourth grader.
Fourth grader,
yes. We also had the it looked almost like the Washington crossing the river boat. He had several figures in the boat, and all of them were presidential heads.
Oh, wow. Wow.
In the boat. And so it had that kind of, that kind of creativity from these kids. So when the teachers work with the kids and tell them what the goal is, their imagination is just taken away. We got some awesome submissions.
It is so amazing to see their imaginations, how creative they get. I can't draw a stick figure if my life depended on it. So some of the submissions, what are the age groups? What different grade levels?
Well, actually, we take it from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This year, we just had middle school and elementary to submit, because usually with high school students, it's going to take a little more time for them to get prepared. So we're ready to get them started for next year.
There's also, anytime you're working with a school, when they're doing the testing, it's hard to get their attention. That's
correct.
That's been kind of a roadblock. We with Houston Money Week, we have gone into many of the schools doing financial literacy events, but you're competing with the attention of the testing coming up. So it's a hard hurdle, as you mentioned, to overcome there. But you guys are already have been doing this with the art and sound.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about the art and sound as well. What is that about?
Well, it's a program we developed 3 years ago. We were looking for something that would highlight art students in the city of Houston. And my daughter is a KIPster. She went to KIP Houston High, and she had an amazing, amazing art teacher, Rebecca T. Had to throw that out there. But she used to have these art galleries for the high school students.
Oh, wow.
And after my daughter graduated, I thought that would be a good continuation of really highlighting students in the Houston area. And our first year was amazing. Great, talented students that we were able to highlight their art. And one of the pluses is we actually auction off their art.
Oh, wow.
All of their art is auctioned off, and all of those proceeds, if that student gets $100, $200 on that piece of artwork, that money goes directly to that student.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're making sure that they're giving credit for their work.
When you say highlight, tell us a little bit about what that looks like. You've actually got sponsors for this as well.
That is correct. When I say highlight, one of the things we do, we want to put them in a gallery setting.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's professional artists that haven't had galleries showings. Exactly, exactly. So we want to give them that importance feel, know what it's like to actually show in a professional gallery. But some of our sponsors this year, we have, of course, Comerica. And Comerica's been a wonderful sponsor for us, great partner, because they understand what our goal is, and that really is giving back to the community and giving back to the young people that are going to be our next generation.
Well, we see that when we talk about Houston Money Week, we have partners from all over. So we do have the banks that are doing community reinvestment, and they're actually going out and doing financial literacy stuff. We have schools.
Correct.
We have college, and when I say schools, we've got the elementary, the middle schools, the high schools, the colleges. It started from just a few to a whole bunch. But that's an example of just different city government. For some for-profit companies, lots of non-profits that we're working with as well. Just a great group, big group of people there. Now, tell us a little bit about the process of submitting. Is the deadline already over?
The deadline is over.
Okay,
We've actually already done all the judging of the pieces that were submitted.
So it's a done deal?
It's a done deal, yes.
Okay. So when does when do they show or is that already?
That's tonight.
Oh, that's tonight. Well, what a timely.
That is tonight. Tonight the showing is going to begin at 6:30, and it's at a facility called the Cannon, and it's located at 1336 Brittmore, and that's in Houston.
And I'm writing that down. The Cannon at 1336 Brittmore.
That is correct.
All right. And that is tonight at
that is
6
tonight
o'clock.
at 6:30.
I'm glad I asked you.
Yes. Yes.
So going back to, now this is your first year participating with Houston Money Week,
that is correct. We actually started the process in January.
All right. And that's most of our partners. The leadership team, we kind of get started, I think it's in November may have even been earlier than that. Okay. But all of the partners get kicked off in January, and then we ramp it up from January until April, and it goes really, really fast.
Very fast.
Tell me, because the last 3 shows, I pretty much have devoted this whole month to having Houston Money Week partners come in, but a lot of them on the leadership team. So we've been doing this for years. So I want to really hear from somebody who's new to the process. Like, what are your thoughts on Houston Money Week?
It's awesome. It's an awesome program. The folks that, like you said, the leadership team, they're very engaging. Whenever I needed anything whenever I needed any answers to any questions I had, I was able to get them pretty fast because they knew that, well, I'm pretty persistent too. But
persistence is good, yes.
But great leadership, really good structure, and they understand the timeliness of when information is needed. So it was a really, really good experience.
So other than the leadership and kind of seeing, what's going on there, did you participate in any of the meetings where you saw other groups interacting or not so much?
No, not so much. The only meetings I really participated in were the ones that were concerning my program.
Just specifically, okay.
Correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we had, as I said, we have many different groups. So, and a lot of times we'll host them out at the United Way. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm saying that, they're going to stop now because they're in April. But next year, 2019, I can't believe I'm already talking about that. Any group that is interested in being part of Houston Money Week can become involved, whether it's a nonprofit, a for-profit. The only thing we ask is that they come out and learn more about us. Now, if you're a listener and you say, I don't want to help with Houston Money Week, I actually want to go to some of the classes. Mm-hmm. What do you have going on? They can always go out to the website, which is HoustonMoneyWeek.org. If you go to that website, up in the right-hand corner, there's going to be events for 2018, and I'm doing this now as we as we talk about this, because there are so many different events. Last year, I think we had close to 250 different events just in the month of April. The idea with the website is that it's not static, that any of our partners that have more events that go on throughout the year, that you can always check back in and see if something's coming up. But the bulk of them are going to be right there in April. So if you have anybody who's listening who is saying, well, I want to go learn about credit, or I want to go learn about budgeting, or, actually, if they're talking about taxes, they're a little late because we just passed the 17th. But we did have nonprofits that were doing the VITA program where they would do free tax preparation for people. And so if you want to learn about that, you can go to the website, put your zip code in, and it will tell you which events are near you, or you can look by the subject, the topic. If you're interested in just one specific thing, you can do that as well. So let's go back, because I want to learn a little bit more about the Houston Metropolitan chapter of Continental Societies, because you've been doing that, you said 4 years?
Since 2004. Correct. Yeah,
okay,
our chapter was chartered in 2004, yes.
And you are currently the chapter president?
That's correct.
And that is just this year?
We have 2-year terms.
2-year terms,
yes.
Okay. So, but you've been there since 2004. How have you seen changes and growth in that organization since you've been there?
Ebbs and flows. Mm-hmm, it's one of those things, because whenever you're dealing with a nonprofit organization, you have people that have lives, things happen, so your chapter numbers go up and down. Mm-hmm. And we've been very fortunate that for the last maybe 5 years, we've been seeing things go up.
Awesome.
So we have a lot of awesome programs coming up. We do have financial programs that we do quite a bit. One of them that we do is we partner with Houston Community College, and we do a financial summit for,
nice.
a financial literacy summit for their Upward Bound program.
Okay.
And it's really awesome day. We actually partner with Comerica with that one as well. Nice. But really teaching the Upward Bound, which are high school kids. Yeah. Real life situations. It's almost like the game of life, but times 20.
Wow.
So really giving them real life situations, real life occupations, what kind of car you're going to have, what kind of apartment are you going to live in, so that they can make some real life decisions and understand what their decisions to whether go to college, get a trade, or if you're just going to graduate high school and work at McDonald's, this is what your path is going to be financially.
That's awesome. So HCC is one of our partners, and I've met a lot of their financial coaches. They're very passionate about what they're doing.
Yes,
and it shows. And now you said these are high school students. How does HCC? How does that work? Are they?
It's Upward Bound program.
And tell me about that. I don't know about
Upward Bound program, it's been around for quite a while, and it really it's another program that takes kids that are in underserved communities and try and give them another level, letting them see, okay, this is what you can do if you go to college. And they also give them a lot of experiences as well, taking them to different museums, college visits, and just kind of expanding those boundaries to let them know your neighborhood is not where your stopping place is. There's so much more out there in the world. So we kind of we partner with them so that we want to jump onto that bandwagon that's already rolling. No need to recreate that wheel.
Well, that's awesome. So that just shows me how much HCC is, because they're a partner with us as well. And then the event, that actual event that you're talking about, it sounds very similar to. There's one that Lonnie Matthews does called Money Live.
Okay.
And then the Game of Life was one that was very similar to this. And I've only heard good things about these events, like life changing. Like they get out there, they realize, oh wait, I have to pay for childcare also.
Yes.
I can't buy the fancy car. I also have to pay rent. That kind of stuff. So very good stuff there. Yes. You mentioned about your organization that ebbs and flows. A lot of the nonprofits we work with, same thing. People, it's volunteer. It's a nonprofit, so this is not our full-time gig here.
Exactly.
So the people that are involved with this, they're passionate. They're working, and so you see ebbs and flows. People coming in, but for it mostly being growing. How does somebody become involved with that organization?
Well, we have meet and greet sessions. We actually just had a meet and greet session this past Monday. And usually it's word of mouth. We have folks that go to our website and they'll see, let me find out some more information about the Houston Continentals. We definitely have people that are referred from other states that maybe you have family members, friends, or whatever that are Continentals. They say, oh, hey, there's a chapter in Houston. So a lot of our membership is word of mouth.
And how would they get in contact with you? Through the website or through?
They can get in touch with us through our regional website. The Houston Metropolitan website is actually being created right now.
Okay.
So we're in a creation stage.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes, but through our regional website, they can get in contact with us.
Okay. So if people are listening right now, don't get a pen, because if you're driving, I don't want you to get in an accident or anything like that. But on the podcast version of this, we will have notes as well. So we'll have a link to the Houston Metropolitan Chapter Continental Societies on there. Also, the information about the gallery tonight. That will probably be too late, though, because by the time it gets posted. But it will live there, and they'll see it, and so people will know. These events that you've had in the past, before the Art and Savings piece, when you did the Art and Sound, was it always hosted at this the Cannon?
No, actually, we were in a gallery in the Heights for our first 2 years, and we outgrew it, which is a good thing.
That's a good thing.
That's a very good thing. And the gallery owner was absolutely marvelous, but we did outgrow that one, so that caused this year, okay, we need to expand. We need to find another venue for this. So that's what led us to the facility we're in now.
So that's always a good sign. If you're outgrowing the place that you're at, you know that you've got growth there in the event, and so that's fantastic.
Exactly. I do want to say one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do have an Eventbrite up. Yeah, there's because the event is free, and it is on Eventbrite. So if you search for Art and Sound Houston Metropolitan, you'll be able to pull us up.
So it's free. They're not going to charge you anything to get in there, but you do need to register at least, or get the details.
Get the details off of Eventbrite. Correct.
Perfect. Okay. What other things can you tell us about this event? Now, I know that you mentioned that the bank, Comerica,
correct,
is also sponsoring it as well, and so the showing is tonight. What other things do you want to tell listeners about it?
Well, hopefully we'll get more students to participate in the Art of Savings next year.
Yep.
One of the things they didn't realize is there's monetary awards.
Oh, tell us about
Yes,
that. Yes, I'm glad I asked.
There's monetary awards. On each grade level, we have a kindergarten through 2nd grade, 3rd grade through 5th grade, and all the way up until 12th grade, where it's sectioned off in the different age groups. So with each one of those age groups, we have a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd prize winner. First prize is $100, second is $75, and third is $50. So those are nice little monetary awards for your creativity. So next year, I'm pretty sure we're going to have even more students that are going to participate in the program. But it is. We have professional judges as well as some educators that come out, and they actually do the judging of all of the artwork.
So one of the things I like is that the money, the cash prizes go right to the students.
Correct.
So I know a lot of the scholarships that you see, if somebody wins a scholarship, sometimes they never actually see the money at all. Sometimes it's credited to the school, and it just goes towards tuition, and then they realize, hey, we have room and board, we've got all these other things, laptops, computers, clothes for school, all that stuff. So when it goes straight to them, it's at least the idea that there's no handcuffs on. It's like, okay, we can use this.
Exactly. Well, Continental Societies, we actually give 3 scholarships to high school seniors every year, and we do the same thing. Our scholarships go directly to the students. This year, we're very happy to say that we have our top scholarship award. It's going to be renewable for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
So that student is going to get that money directly to them. You know, a student that may get a full ride, that money goes directly to the university, right? Yeah. What about books? What about clothes?
Yes.
What about all those ancillary things that a lot of times people don't think about? That money goes directly to the student for their use.
So tell me more about that. So that's separate from the art event. You are already doing these scholarships. How does somebody find out about that? How do they participate in that? What do they got to do? Yeah.
Well, once our website is up and running, it will be on our website.
Okay.
So if you just search Houston Continentals, you'll be on our website, and we're hoping to have that up and running within the next month. But in past years, our scholarships have been word of mouth. We go to different churches, send out email blasts to people in our contact list to find out what students are graduating, and we send those applications out to the students at that time for them to send the information back to us. And we've had some awesome, amazing students to come through our scholarship program.
That's good. And so, I mean, people hearing about it today, once it's on the website, there'll be a way to get it out there. People will know more, and you'll get the word out about it.
That is correct. That is correct. And we'll be doing e-blast and things like that because we really want to make sure that students are aware of our scholarship and take advantage of it.
Absolutely. That's the one downside of the scholarships is that I think there's a lot of them out there and just people don't know about.
That is correct.
How do we get to know about them? Well, I can't believe we are almost at the end of the show. We're bumping towards the end of the show. So I do want to mention just a few other events that we have going on with Houston Money Week. I'm looking at the calendar here. Today is the 20th. There's so many events that I have to scroll down here. So if we go to next week, the 24th, there's a college financial aid workshop. There's also fundamentals of good credit. That's on the 24th. 25th, financing and grant programs for the transportation industry. Fundamentals of good credit. That's a separate, different one. That Friday of that week, there's going to be a small business workshop. So I'm just giving you kind of little tidbits of what's actually available out there. I would encourage you to go to the website, see what's going on. If there's something that's of interest to you, it is. All of these events are free. There are no cost or no charge to the participants. That's the one. We have very few rules in Houston Money Week, but that's the one rule is that we don't charge. All of the events are free and open to the public. And so, again, it's HoustonMoneyWeek.org. With that, what have I forgot to ask you that you want our listeners to know?
There's still time to come out tonight.
Yes, that's right.
There is still time to come out to our, we call it Art and Sound. The sound is we do have a jazz trio that is going to be there.
Wow.
we have a catered fare as well as wine for you to go through and enjoy. So please come on out, enjoy yourself, look at the art, bid on the art. Our biggest thing is buy art. We want to support our students.
Absolutely. Bennette, thank you so much for joining us today. You have been listening to KPFT Houston.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Money Matters Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, visit us on the web at www.moneymatterspodcast.com. Drop us a line on SpeakPipe on the right-hand corner. It will receive any voicemails, questions, thoughts, concerns that you have about the show. In addition to this, we recently launched a Patreon campaign. Click on the Donate Now tab to hit the tip jar and find out what Patreon's campaign is all about.